Hi students, a very good morning to everybody. Let's begin the class and it is the continuation of center of mass. It is the continuation of center of mass topic. Let's see this point and before that, so this is the homework question what I have given where most of the students have gone wrong. What is that? There is an equilateral triangle of 1 kg is kept at this corner and 2 kg is kept at this corner and 3 kg is kept at this corner. This is an equilateral triangle of each side length will be 1 meter. The question is about to find center of mass. I told you already this can be considered as origin. So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis here. This is at the coordinate 0 comma 0 and this is the mass at the coordinates 1 comma 0 because x from the origin this mass is at 1 meter, from the origin this mass at 0 meters along y-axis. Simple. Now this one along x-axis this is at 1 by 2 meters. See here, it's half, right? Y, so this is x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3. Most of the students gone wrong in identifying y3. What is the problem here? Look at here. Y3 means what? Third particle position along y-axis. This is the third particle along y-axis. Its position is calculated by this line. What is that? So let's see, this is y3. To find this y3, you can use Pythagoras theorem here. How to do that? So 1 square is equal to 1 by 2 whole square plus y3 square. See how simple it is. Then it is 1 minus 1 by 4 is equal to y3 square. So this is equal to 3 by 4 is equal to y3 square. So finally your y3 will be equal to root 3 by 2 meters. So y3 is how much? Root 3 by 2. So x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3 also you have. And you know how to find XCM and YCM, my dear students. XCM and YCM, you know how to find it. For your better understanding, let me revise and do a quick recap with the formula. M1x1 plus M2x2 so on divided by M1 plus M2 plus so on. And here the formula will come M1y1 plus M2y2 plus M3y3. It goes like that. Now, continuation of the center of mass. Imagine a situation where there is a rigid body like this. In this rigid body will have n number of system of particles, m1, m2, m3, like that, so on. And I'm just keeping this rigid body, assuming that it is in xy plane. From the origin, the position of first mass can be represented with a position vector. Look at here. This is my first mass, R1 bar. From the origin, the second mass can be represented with R2 bar, the position vectors I am talking about. Third mass is represented with the position vector R3 bar. In the same way, there is a center of mass for this. So that is the center of mass. This center of mass will be represented with the position vector called XCM or simply RCM bar. Look at here. So the topic is position vector of the center of mass, my dear students. What is the topic here? So this is the position vector of a center of mass. So this is the topic of our interest today. Position vector of center of mass. Let's begin. RCM bar. RCM bar is equal to M1 R1 bar plus M2 R2 bar plus M3 R3 bar plus so on till Mn Rn bar divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus so on. This is called position vector of the center of mass, my dear students. A position vector of the center of mass. For example, if the position vectors are given, if M1 is 1 kg and M2 is 2 kg, if position vectors are also mentioned, R1 bar is equal to 2i cap plus j cap, okay, xy plane, and R2 bar is given as I cap minus j cap. This is R2 bar. Now they may ask you to find position vector of the center of mass. What is the formula? M1 into R1. What is R1? It's 2i cap plus j cap plus M2. It's 2 kg into R2 bar I cap minus j cap divided by M1 plus M2. It's 1 plus 2, students. So RCM bar is equal to, this is a 2i cap plus j cap plus here 2i cap minus 2j cap divided by 3. What is the final answer? You get it? What is the final answer? 2i cap plus 2i cap. It is 4i cap by 3 plus j cap minus 2j cap, that means minus j cap divided by 3. So this is what the position vector of the center of mass, final position vector of the center of mass. See, your answer is in the vector form, because position vector we are finding. So if you want the magnitude, you know how to find the magnitude of this. Square root of this quotient square plus this quotient square. Here the quotient of I cap is 4 by 3. Here quotient of j cap is 1 by 3. The square root of those two quotient squares. Right? So this is how the numericals also can be asked. In one of the NEET exam, this question was asked, my dear students. In the final exam, this question was asked. And how simple it is, have a look at it. How simple it is. Alright. And let's move to the next topic here. Continuation of the topic. See, from the position vector of the center of mass topic, we can take out so many things. Let's move on. Have a look at it. Have a look at it. Here. This is the position vector, right? For example, if you differentiate this, or look at here, this is the total mass. The total mass is taken to this side. So that will be M into RCM bar, which is equal to total mass is taken to this side is equal to, individually I am writing M1 R1 bar plus M2 R2 bar plus M3 R3 bar plus so on. Okay, what I am doing here is, I am just differentiating this R with respect to time. What happens? Have a look at it. M into dRCM bar by dt is equal to M1 dR1 bar by dt plus M2 into dR2 bar by dt plus so on. So this I can write M into rate of change of position vector. That's called the velocity. So M into velocity, MVCM bar is equal to M1 V1 bar plus M2 V2 bar plus M3 V3 bar plus so on. So this is the formula. You get it as the velocity of the center of mass, my dear students. Now this capital M you send to the other side. So now you have the formula for velocity of the center of mass. So what is that? So m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar plus so on divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 so on. This is velocity of the center of mass formula, students. Velocity of the center of mass formula. Important. And from this equation, what do you get? Listen. Mass into velocity, and is it the linear momentum of the center of mass, which is equal to linear momentum of the first body, linear momentum of the second body, linear momentum of the third body. It goes on like that. Now, what we can do here? And here, rate of change of linear momentum is nothing but the force, right? So if you differentiate here, dpcm bar by dt is equal to a dp1 bar by dt plus a dp2 bar by dt plus a dp3 bar by dt plus, if it goes like this, and this is called net force acting on the center of mass is equal to force due to the first body, force due to the second body, plus force due to the third body, plus so on. This is an interesting thing. So if you carefully look at here, this is the net force, and these are the different forces here. And these forces, there will be external forces in those F1, F2, F3s. There are some external forces and there are some internal forces also. Listen carefully. And the effect of this internal forces on center of mass is zero. Very important and interesting point. Effect of internal forces on the center of mass point is zero. When we are talking about center of mass, the force, net force on the center of mass, we only consider all the external forces, because external forces only can change the position of the center of mass. Internal forces cannot, and we'll see one or two examples also related to that. Don't worry about it. Now, the point is, here about forces we have discussed. Force and acceleration irrelevant. About velocities we have discussed. About linear momentum we have discussed. About position vectors we have discussed. And all these things is called as motion of the center of mass, my dear students. What is this called? A motion of the center of mass. See, the center of mass will have velocity, linear momentum, and there is a force acting on it, and there is an acceleration also. So what is that acceleration? Let's have a look at it. Acceleration of the center of mass, students. Acceleration of the center of mass. See, here the velocity we have, right? See, this is the velocity we have. Or this is what force we have. We can write in terms of acceleration. Total mass into acceleration of the center of mass is equal to m1a1 bar plus m2a2 bar plus so on. And acceleration of the center of mass, we can write it as m1a1 bar plus m2a2 bar plus so on divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus so on till m1. So this is also an important point, acceleration of the center of mass. And look at here how the questions will be asked from acceleration of the center of mass. So there is a pulley mass system like this. One mass is connected here, students, that is mass m1. there is another mass is connected, mass m2 here. Here they have clearly mentioned that m1 is greater than m2. So this m1 is moving with an acceleration a downwards. So definitely m2 will be moving with an acceleration a upwards. Okay. Now the point is, have a look at it. Now the point is, you know the acceleration of these blocks in the laws of motion at free body diagrams condition we have discussed. What is the acceleration of the system? Acceleration of the system is equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. That is the acceleration of individual blocks. But the question is, find the acceleration of center of mass. That is the question, students. Acceleration of the center of mass is a vector quantity, right? Look at here. Acceleration of the center of mass is a vector quantity. Let's write it. So acceleration of the center of mass is equal to vector form. This is m1. Yes, this is m1. And this is a1. a1 is what? It's a, let's say, first one. First body is moving with an acceleration a plus m2, m1 and it is m2. Okay. Second body is moving with an acceleration upwards. So as acceleration is a vector quantity, one direction is taken as positive, the other one must be negative. So this is a, this is a minus a divided by m1 plus m2. Simple, right? We are writing the magnitudes, direction already kept. Now here, a if you take out, and that will be m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2. If a you take common, what is that a? Acceleration of individual block, and acceleration of individual block is how much? Acceleration of the center of mass is equal to, so that is m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into g into m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2. What is the final answer, students? Final answer, acceleration of the center of mass is equal to, acceleration of the center of mass is g into, what is this? m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 whole square. That's it, right? So like this the numericals will be asked, and let's see some more numericals related to the motion of the center of mass. Hello students, let's begin. What is the statement I have given last about the force acting on the center of mass? That is, the internal forces will not affect the position or a motion of center of mass. Very important point, remember. The best example for this is the projectile motion, students. The best example is the projectile motion. So there is some advanced level application we are going to discuss related to this. Internal forces will not affect the position of the center of mass. The best example, as I have told you, projectile motion. Have a look at it. So this is x-axis and y-axis here. A body of mass m is projected from the origin. Like this it is projected. Without any explosion, right? This is the bomb, for example. This bomb is not exploded. It is moving in an exact parabolic path and incident here. So this is what? The actual situation. What we are taking right now is exactly at the maximum height. This is the maximum height position. The bomb is exploded. Exactly at the maximum height position, the bomb is exploded. And one mass comes to rest and falls here. So imagine that's a m1, first mass. First mass is of mass m, right? You know how the second mass will move? That is very important. How the second mass will move, that's important. Now this mass will not be there. This is not be there, right? So listen. This is important. This is important, students. First mass has come to the rest there. And how the second mass will move and where it falls from the origin. That's the question. How it moves andre, illinda, it moves like this. Somewhere it will fall such that your M1, M2 values you have, if you find the center of mass of these two mass system, you will exactly get the center of mass here, my dear students. That is an interesting point. Again, I am telling you, listen. The explosion is due to internal forces. Yes or no? This is the explosion which is due to the internal forces. The internal forces must not affect the position or the motion of the center of mass, that you know. Coming back to this question. There is a bomb which is incident from here. For example, let's take this is incident with 100 meters per second at an angle 37 degrees. All advanced values we are taking 37 degrees. At the maximum height, it got exploded at maximum height. And they have given clearly the first body comes to the rest immediately. So after the explosion, yes, it is falling here. And second body is of mass 3m. Listen, mass 3m. So how the ratio of the splitting here? So m1 by m2 is 1 by 3 and the given. This is not our assumption, it's given like that. m2 is equal to 3 times the first mass. First mass I considered m, second mass is 3m. Okay, our discussion is about the center of mass. Okay, at this point if the bomb explodes, the first mass comes to the rest and second mass how it moves and where it has fallen from the origin. That is the question. About second mass they are asking the question. If the first mass falls here, second mass will fall at some point such that their center of mass lies at parabolic path. Without the explosion, what would be the actual path of the projectile? Exactly at that point, the center of mass of these two masses will stay. So that is the interesting point. That means center of mass position is not at all affected by the internal forces. Of course, there is no mass here. Because explosion, without explosion, exactly the mass will fall here. Due to the explosion, of course, there is no mass here. But still, if mass is there, where it will fall, and that is the point, will become the center of mass of these two. These two masses will adjust their positions such that the center of mass exactly will come here. Right? Okay. Now, from the origin, the first mass is at a distance x1. From the origin, the second mass is at a distance x2. That is what we need to find out. From the origin, xcm, look at here. So this is xcm, my dear students, xcm. Right? So the question is find x2. That's a question. Find x2. Formula we know, the basic formula you should not forget here, m1x1 plus m2x2 divided by m1 plus m2, alright. This xcm ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. What is that xcm? We don't know. But I can clearly tell you that xcm is equal to range of the projectile. Yes or no? Tell me everybody. xcm is equal to range of the projectile. Yes or no? From here to here. Yes. That's what I told, it is advanced. When two or more concepts are combined, here the center of mass concept and the projectile motion is combined. That's it. Okay, range of the projectile formula enema. So u square sine 2 theta divided by g. Okay, so your range formula we get it, which is xcm, which is equal to u square 100 into 100 into 2 sine 37 into cos 37, my dear students, divided by g value is 10. You know the 37 degrees triangle, right? 37 degrees triangle. I don't want to mention, but still, right? Because you are not in initial days of the first PUC. Almost you are close to second PUC now. So this is 37 degrees. It's 3 and 4 and 5. So sine 37 it's 3 by 4. Cos 37 is 4 by 5. See, sine 2 theta I can write it as 2 sine theta cos theta. So if you calculate, you will get your XCM value is 960 meters, students. So this is 960 meters. Observe, this is 960 meters. And this is exactly the maximum it fell to this point. Andre, half of this, half of the range. What is half of the range here? So the x1 will be a 480 meters, my dear students. See here. x1 is equal to half of the range. Okay. As x1 is equal to half of the range, I can write x1 is equal to 480 meters. So x1 you know, x2 you know, sorry, x1 you know, xcm you know. So let's come back to this formula. X1 you know, mass values also you know, and xcm also you know. You can find x2, right? How? xcm is equal to 960, which is equal to m1. m1 we considered as m into x1 is 480 we have got, plus m2. m2 we have taken as 3m into x2. What is x2 here? x2, that is what unknown we need to find, divided by m1 plus m2. m1 is m, m2 is 3m. So will you please do it and tell me the answer? What is x2? Right? Sometimes the ratio of x1 and x2 can also be asked. Get ready for that also. Okay. So these are the basics of the center of mass point, my dear student. There are so many ways to find the center of masses, right? So that also we will discuss soon. So the topic is methods to locate a center of mass. So there are so many methods to locate the center of mass. In this class, about introduction and the basic method we will discuss. So the number one is method of symmetry. A method of symmetry. What is meant by the method of symmetry? I'll tell you. Let's take an example here. Let's take two examples we are taking today. So there is a disk. So there is a disk here of radius R1. So there is another disk here of radius R2. Observe. So the mass of this is M1 and the mass of this is M2 here. You know, this disk center of mass will lies here at C1. This center of mass lies here at C2. The question is, find center of mass of the system. That's the point. So the answer must be in terms of R1 and R2 values. Listen students, that is important. So this is also like two particle system. There is a mass M1 is placed here. There is a mass, center of mass and rhenum. It's a point where the total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. So at C1, that's the position of the center of mass of this body. C2 is the position of center of mass of this body. So it is like M1 is kept here, M2 is kept here. And the distance between M1 and M2 is what? R1 plus R2. Simple. Simple. Now have a look at it. If you need the center of mass, so that means XCM, you need to consider one point as an origin, so that you know. So this is M1 is at 0, 0 and XCM will lies on this axis. So M2, where is the position of the M2 here? M2, along x-axis M2 position is R1 plus R2 comma 0. Yes or no? Coordinates of M2 along x-axis. So from the origin, M2 is at a distance of R1 plus R2. Yes. Comma. Along y-axis, M2 distance, no. 0. Okay. And the point is simple now. XM is equal to M1 x1 plus M2 x2 divided by M1 plus M2 students. So M1 XCM is equal to M1. What is M1 here? So let me write M1 only. M1 X1. X1 is 0 plus C here. M2 let us write X2. X2 is R1 plus R2 divided by M1 plus M2. Here the point is masses. We need the answer in terms of R1 and R2. We don't want the answer in masses. So this masses, how can they convert in terms of radius? That is the point here. We have the formula density is equal to mass by volume. From here, a mass is equal to volume into density. So if it is a sphere, we can find the volume. If it is a cylinder, you can find the volume, right? If it is a hollow sphere, we can find the volume. If it is a cube, we can find the volume. But it is just a disc. How to find the volume? So for the disc, generally the mass is equal to volume is equal to area into length. Yes or no? For example, cube you take it, or cylinder you take it, area into length, which is into rho. The mass is equal to area into here length Allah. In case of this flat bodies, so if you want to find the volume, it is just area into thickness. That's it. Area into what? Thickness. The thickness is denoted with the symbol Tm. So T is equal to thickness. No confusions. T is equal to thickness. Right? Okay. So mass is equal to area value. Area of the disc is pi r square into thickness into rho. In the place of m, you keep this man. So xm is equal to m1. What is m1? Is it pi r1 square t rho into 0? Okay, anyway 0 into m2. m2 is pi r2 square t rho into what is remaining here? R1 plus R2 divided by M1 pi R1 square t rho plus M2 pi R2 square t rho. Understand? Clear? So this is 0. And what is left here? Let me write. XCM is equal to, look at the interesting thing. This is 0. And here what is left? Pi R2 square t rho into R1 plus R2 divided by pi t rho common. Pi t rho common. And what is that? R1 square plus R2 square. So pi t rho cancel. What is the answer here? XCM is equal to what, students? So R2 square into R1 plus R2 divided by R1 square plus R2 square. So this is how we find method of symmetry. By using method of symmetry, center of mass of the system of two discs we can find out, and then you may get it out why that T is cancelled thickness. So the similar kind of disc we have taken, identical discs alla, same disc, similar disc we have considered. That's why thickness is identical and the radius also same. Okay, clear? Alright. So now the homework for you is, in place of disc, please replace with a solid sphere, my dear students. A sphere. Here sphere of radius R1, here the sphere of radius R2 is kept, and do that, you will get the answer, right? What is the answer and tell me? What is the answer? Tell me, right? Simple. Here one sphere and here one sphere. Everything remains same. Everything remains the same, except at the places of the masses. So the formula for the mass will be changes. Here the mass is equal to area into here sphere. Sphere directly we can write volume. Mass of the sphere is equal to volume. You know the volume of the sphere. Here thickness and length, everything will not be there. So directly you will get the concept from here, the mass. Mass is equal to volume of the sphere into density. In place of this mass, you keep volume of the first body into density. In place of this, you keep volume into second body density. Sorry, volume of the second body into density. Right? So tell me the answer right now. Right now, pause the video and do it and tell me the answer. And next example by using method of symmetry. Simple. There is a rod of length L. There is another rod of length L. Two identical rods are kept like this in a T form. Center of mass of the system. That's it. The center of mass of the system they are asking. So how simple it is. The first body center of mass will lies here. Total rod length L andre this is L by 2 and this is L by 2. Exactly at half only center of mass lies, right? If it is uniform rod. Same, this is also uniform rod. It will also have the center of mass at this point. That means, so this is L by 2 and this is also L by 2. Here to here it is L by 2. So the total mass of the first rod is concentrated here. Total mass of the second rod is concentrated here. Now the center of mass of the system andre between these 2 points it lies. So what is that? Is it L by 4, my dear students? Tell me. Tell me. So this is what the center of mass position will be L by 4 from the first mass. And at L by 4 from the second mass also. That's a center of mass position. So this is called a method of symmetry. And in method of symmetry itself, there are so many applications are left and that will be discussed in the next classes, right? All the very best and prepare well for your exam. Good luck.